Morning. Hoping to get the fuel pressure sensor issue fixed today, but I learnt from my local specialist, Venture 4x4 in Shipston, that there's been a recall on the fuel pressure sensor wiring loom. I'll show you what the problem's been and the bit I've had to buy to fix it. That's the fuel pressure sensor there, which is now fitted, the new one, and there's a very short wiring loom which goes, there's the connection that's loose because I'm not reusing this one, and the bit that fails is this connection here. Ignore these two, they're just disconnected to get access. It's this connection actually fails, so there's a recall part. I'll show you what it is. It's this. That's for your 43 quid you get a roll of tape. You don't get these connections, they were given to me by Venture 4x4. You just get this longer piece of loom that connects to the sensor, and then you splice into the existing engine wiring loom. So that's the job. First of all, get that fitted with these connectors, some shrink wrap, and see if that gets rid of my horrendous restricted performance. Oh, it's so cold this morning. It's freezing fog, and my hands in these gloves, literally you get about 2 minutes to do any work and you just got to go inside. Anyway, I'll show you where I've got to. So this is the part of the engine loom that I need to splice into. So it means removing this thing, but of course to get a hand to it I've had to remove the air filter box. I'm going to get this pipe out of the way as well so I can get a pair of crimps in there easier, and just do a better job really. So just carry on. I've now got the engine loom end cleared away, so I need to first of all cut wire number 2. So on the new one they've labelled wire 2, and that's labelled because 2 wires are identical colours. So it's 2 blue and greys and 1 grey. So once 2 is, which is the central one, is cut and fixed, and obviously it's just blue to blue and grey to grey. Good, here's the progress so far. Got all these, this new little loom spliced on. So just to put some, need to put some of this sort of type conduit stuff around this part now, and then get it all plugged up. See if it's plugged up, plane and back on, airbox, battery connected, whatever that thing is, pollen filter housing. Yeah, there's quite a lot to do still. Right, making progress. I'll show you where I've got to before coffee. So this is the new loom that's now an extended part of the engine loom, rather than this separate piece which is here. So this piece now is going to come out, but I've deliberately left it there so I can follow exactly its line of travel through all the other stuff. So I'm just going to now take this end and follow that route back through, connect it up, clip this bit onto there I guess, and then go and have a coffee. Right, it's all back together again. I haven't started it yet. I expect it will be a bit hesitant to start because I had to remove, as you might remember, one of the fuel pipes. I'm going to have a quick visual inspections and then put the engine cover back on, go and have some lunch and take it for a spin. I need to be at Quick Fit for 3 o'clock. It's now 2:05 because I've bought in their 20% off offer 4 Pirelli Scorpion Zeros for it. It's got budget tyres all around. The rears are pretty new, the fronts are worn out. I'm going to keep the rears and see if I can get some money for them on eBay, but the fronts will be thrown away and yeah, hopefully the restricted performance is cured, but we'll see. Join me after lunch. Right, let's see how we go. Ignition. Let's turn the radio off. If I can work out how to turn the radio off. Turn the aircon off. Right, I don't expect it to start straight away because of the fuel being disconnected. Still got an engine management light on. -1 degree. Engine management light may go off after a little while, after a few cycles of ignition, but that is a good start. So my next stage is to take it to Venture 4x4. They're going to plug it in, tell it it's got a new battery fitted, which is quite important apparently, which I don't have the tools for yet. I see the date's reset itself, that's interesting. Probably not surprising because the battery's been disconnected. And yeah, let's just see how she drives in a while. So that's the fuel pressure sensor replaced. Hope you've enjoyed this short video, and I shall see you again when I next have a problem with the Land Rover. Obviously next thing is the one of the front right corner suspension arms. I've had to invest in the Range Rover. I've had to invest in the Gap IID tool, £470 for the pleasure. I'm sure it's going to be brilliant and will keep me on the road. What is great is you can immediately get rid of a fault and have a drive, which is lovely. But today I'm determined to sort out the restricted performance issue that I'm having, and I'll show you the code because I've printed it out on a piece of paper. So this is the code, the P0088-17 fuel rail system pressure too high, general electrical failure, circuit voltage above threshold 68. As you may know, I have replaced the little loom that goes to the sensor. I've tested the voltage, so the on this circuit the grey wire is the ground, which is the number 3 pin. There you go. And the blue in number 1 is the voltage supply, which means the blue in number 2 is the return feed. So I've tested with the ignition on, I've tested 1 to 3, and that gives me 4.9 volts, so that's getting voltage. I don't know a way of testing the continuity of this second wire without trying to work out where the other end of the wire comes out, so that's going to be a case of somebody else doing that. But what I can do is change the fuel pressure sensor again. So I bought, this is my second genuine Bosch pressure sensor, but I thought I'd pause here to show you this piece of genius that I've invented for getting this back on without having to dismantle everything above it. So it's tricky, but I disconnected the connector. Those of you will know that's the fuel pressure sensor right in the middle of the shop. I looped a small cable tie around it, and you can now see that by moving the cable tie you can basically move it, you can screw it and unscrew it. So first of all, unscrewing it, it's good to loop the cable tie around it so you don't drop it, and then screwing it back up, you put the cable tie on from the other side, so you're kind of pulling up, and then with the screwdriver you can just stop it rotating. Move the cable tie back and then pull it on again. So I thought that was worth just sharing, because it's a great way of threading something on and positioning something in place which you just can't get your fingers into. Anyway, I shall plug this back in, see if that gets rid of the fault, because it could be a faulty pressure sensor. I know it's unlikely, but we'll see. Right, here she is. That one's dropped off. Hopefully collect that one later this evening. Let's see. I've had a quick look under the bonnet. There's no point looking at the fuel pump. You can't see anything. Obviously the main issue is on startup. It was going straight into restricted performance. So let's see what happens. Right. Ignition. And ignition. Ignition. Marvellous. Low fuel warning. That's surprising. I've done quite a few miles testing it because I thought it was out about half a tank, but let's not worry about that. It's okay to clear that. Oh, no, it's not okay. That's the windscreen washers. Where's the OK button? Oh yeah, there it is. I guess that yellow is probably the fuel warning, which I think I can check, if I remember rightly. Show warnings. Okay to clear, fuel level low. So I'm assuming that orange triangle is fuel. Right, let's crack on. Right, well, there's a nice 911 behind me with a registration number 888T. Very jazzy. So far so good. Despite having zero fuel in it, which is absolutely fine. I think it had about just under half when I delivered it. That's fine because it shows it's done some miles with them, which means it works. And it's driving very nicely, as it does when it's working. So I'm going to get home, fill it up. I might put some non-Tesco diesel in it. Who knows? And then I shall see what I can do this weekend to get some miles on it. So far, so good. But we haven't been far yet. It's Saturday, 2:30, and I'm going from Stratford-upon-Avon to Ipswich. Primarily, of course, to give this car a journey. I filled it up. Before, when I picked it up from Venture 4x4, it was just had like 12-mile range left. It's now on, what is it? Hold on, hold the line caller. Blimey, it's got 413-mile range, it says. A bit like a good electric car. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping it'll get us there. It is slightly skiing related, because I'm picking up some old skis from a good friend of mine who I haven't seen for a long time actually, so it'll be nice to see him as well, all things being well. So I'll see how it's going. So we'll see how she goes. Hopefully you'll join me again approaching the outskirts of sunny Ipswich. So 150 miles in, car's been fine, hopefully be fine tomorrow on the way home, and which means, touch wood, it should get us to France or Italy, Italian Alps and back. We will see. Afternoon. I would say this has been a successful test run for the trip to the Alps. We've done 350 miles in 24 hours? Yeah, 24 hours. Set off from Stratford to Ipswich, back via Buckinghamshire, and then back to Stratford. So, car seems to be working absolutely brilliantly. I guess Venture 4x4 know what they're doing when it comes to these spurious fault codes on these things. So the next time you'll join us is probably when we head off on Friday afternoon for Dover Calais on the boat, and then overnight in Calais, and then down the motorway to the Mont Blanc tunnel on the Saturday. Anyway, let's see how we go.